more often. And I'm not talking about on podcasts. Enough of that shit. Everybody's got a goddamn podcast. I'm not talking about that.
Meghan Markle's podcast has ended its 8-episode run, and there are no plans to release a second season at this point. What a surprise.
No yachts, no boats, Cardi B, no pink stuff. What the fuck?
Queen summoned everyone to a private meeting. Everyone attended except Meghan Markle. And I'll be honest, I don't blame Meghan for not going, because nothing good happens when white people invite you to the countryside. We've all seen Get Out. We know how this shit ends.
Prepare for it early so it doesn't hurt when it happens.
Meg does her little phony, like, I'm so busy just doing, like, so much wealthy stuff. I have the show, the podcast, I'm a duchess, I have all this wealth. It's just so many busy things as a wealthy person.
So busy?
It was so fake. I was like, oh.
Kevin, what?
Prince Harry, whose memoir just broke the Guinness record for fastest-selling nonfiction book of all time. They're now releasing a version for kids. I don't know if you know about this. It's a twist on The Princess and the Pea. It's called The Prince and the Penis, and it's...
Bootlegged the shit out of that movie. They really did.
She's like, I can't believe they were racist. Wait, the whitest family on the planet. The original motherfuckers.
Okay, and he went off on this for a while. Again, this idea that everyone is a victim. He's like, no, you're not a victim. I'm sorry. And one of the things that he said is...
Everybody's going to get hit tonight. We're live. It's going to be a good time. Everybody wants to be here. I've been getting calls all day. Hold on. It's Kanye. Hey, don't do it. You all saw the movie Sinners. Don't let it.
Harry says, how do you explain to someone who just started dating that they have to curtsy to your own grandmother?
How do you explain that you bow to your grandmother and that you will need to curtsy, especially to an American? Like, that's weird.
Maybe just tell her that your grandmother is the queen and you're in the royal family.
The 2025 BET Awards weren't just a show. They were an ambush, and Kevin Hart pulled the trigger. Mid-monologue, he swerved hard and dropped a line that sucked the air out of the room. His target, Meghan Markle, and it wasn't pretty. Kevin went straight for the image, slicing up her royal activist brand like it was bad TV writing. He joked she sounded less like a duchess and more like a canceled Netflix character, begging for a reboot.
The 60 Minutes interview was a great chance to hear Harry and Meghan's story, in case you missed their 2-hour sit-down with Oprah or their 6-part Netflix documentary.
He mocked the shine, the slogans, the perfectly rehearsed compassion, and then hit harder, hinting there might not be a real person left under all that polish.
The billion other white people that say the N-word every goddamn day.
The room froze, then exploded. Gasps, laughter, chaos. And within minutes, social media was on fire, arguing over one brutal question: joke or truth?
They've stopped giving, as I said, a rat's backside whatever she says or does, haven't they?
I don't think they ever did. It's kind of like Meghan, give up. That war was always won by them before you even started it. I mean, it's ridiculous how this woman continues to pillage the royal family, to use their events to then skyrocket her own.
People joked that Meghan Markle was probably already Googling how to trademark the word authenticity before Kevin Hart could make it trend. But this wasn't just another roast thrown into Hollywood noise. This one landed harder. It felt like a switch flipped. A comedian finally saying out loud what people had been whispering for years, but were too scared to say on a stage.
It's very dangerous. You know, she's already proven that she's very dangerous. What her one goal in life is to get as much attention as she can. And she doesn't care who she destroys in the process.
Comics avoided Meghan like a live wire, afraid of the backlash, the hashtags, the outrage cycle. Kevin didn't care. He walked straight through that invisible shield. No filters, no pauses. Just blunt, uncomfortable jokes that cracked the silence and changed the conversation in real time.
Never complain and never explain was the late Queen's motto for royal PR. For Harry and Meghan, it's more a case of never reign and never abstain, especially when it comes to nauseating self-publicity, which invariably backfires.
There were no viral essays demanding Kevin Hart apologize. No hashtags screaming accountability. Not a single celebrity posting a long Instagram rant about grace, healing, or Meghan Markle and her so-called struggle. Instead, there was laughter. Loud, raw, uncontrollable laughter rolling through the BET Awards like the rules had just vanished.
He can bite Playboy Cardi again. Kurt Franklin is in the building. Put it away, Kurt. Put it away. We live. They can't do shit about it. We live.
And here's the real shock. There was no soft landing. None. Kevin didn't tiptoe, didn't sweeten it, didn't pull back. He went straight for the throat and landed every hit clean. Brutal. Accurate, unmistakably real.
She thought she was marrying into billions and billions of dollars, and she quickly found out that the purse strings are very tight, especially when it comes to marrying someone who's 8th in line for the throne now.
No hesitation, no fake sympathy, just direct hits. And here's the twist. The crowd wasn't uncomfortable at all. No side eyes. No checking if laughing was allowed. They laughed hard, from the gut, like pressure finally blew off. This wasn't cruelty. It was truth dressed up as a joke. That's why it cut so deep.
As we've spoken about, this show has completely underperformed. It did not really appear on the Spotify charts. This was, of course, the podcast that she made with Lemonada Media. It's still unclear, actually, about what money has come from this podcast.
For the first time, people stopped pretending Meghan Markle's carefully built media shield was untouchable. You could feel it shift in the room. That bubble she's been hiding behind, blown up by PR spin and endless interviews, started leaking in front of millions.
And I will not bend the knee and just go along with the nonsense. That's what's so annoying about them. The most of all, they insist that you go along with their nonsense and their insanity and their fragility.
When even A-listers, the same people who usually clap on cue and play safe, decide the joke matters more than the script, you know the tide has turned.
I said Meghan Markle is, of course, a lifelong feminist, which she's demonstrated by marrying a prince and giving up her job.
Kevin Hart didn't just tell a joke, he broke the illusion. And that moment did more than land. It cut clean through the hype, sharp and precise. What he hit wasn't just a punchline, it was a reality check.
Meghan specifically, her social media gets a significant amount more views than the Prince and Princess of Wales. But I think that it's all about spectacle. I think it's almost shameless. It's less about substance, which is what we do get from the Prince and Princess of Wales. And it's more about clickbait and generating her own.
Because let's be real, this moment didn't come out of nowhere. It followed years of slow unraveling. Years where Meghan Markle's glowing halo of modern royalty has been sliding off piece by piece. That fairy tale shine is gone, swapped for something colder, more staged, more controlled. And now, even Hollywood, the same machine that once rolled out the red carpet, is starting to look away. Look around.
NBC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits. It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
Every close-up, every quote, every staged photo now lands flat. The shine doesn't hold anymore. The humanitarian crowd, the same people who once applauded Meghan Markle for activism, are starting to side-eye her motives.
Meghan and I are having a very casual conversation about who our acting teachers were. And she said, congratulations on your career. And I said, congratulations on your career. And she said, well, it took a little turn.
Because let's be honest, when every cause feels like a branding move, people stop buying it. You can only attach your name to so many global issues before the whisper turns into one question. What do you actually stand for?
Meghan's almost instant, farcically feeble response, unveiling her new range of dog biscuits. Not news at all. As a media ploy, a barking mad non-starter. In terms of her blizzard of social media activity and increasingly frenetic semi-revelations about her confusing business plans, it's hard to work out what precisely is occurring on Planet Meghan. But she's sure as hell trying.
Every speech sounds like it was approved by a focus group. Every outfit looks ripped from a Pinterest board called Empowerment Chic. And every interview feels like a TED Talk tryout. Smooth, scripted, and empty.
If she didn't marry him, she would be on The Bachelor this season. Fighting for Prince. She would be Megan M. from Sherman Oaks barista. She's just not lucky.
Ambition isn't the problem. The problem is the packaging feels faker every day. So when Kevin Hart stepped onto that bat stage and blew the facade wide open, it wasn't just comedy, it was confirmation. He said out loud what millions were already thinking. There was a time when Meghan Markle could do no wrong. Every appearance made headlines. Every quote went viral. Now that version of her feels like a distant memory.
Meghan shared that bedside twerking video, taken shortly apparently before she gave birth to Lilibet. Remember the child that she named after the Queen's private nickname that was given to by Duke of Edinburgh, without getting permission from the Queen. Anyway, it was to silence online trolls, apparently, who basically claimed she was never pregnant at all. Instead, the videos emboldened conspiracy theorists. They're calling it Megspiracy, and the pair are being subjected to yet more merciless ridicule.
She was once sold as a disruptor, A modern royal smashing old traditions with a smile, a polished speech, and an army of PR writers behind the curtain. Meghan Markle was meant to be the symbol of a new era, flipping the royal script with Hollywood shine and activist flair.
What is the number one question that mystifies scientists? Number one question.
Mystifies scientists. Is there life on another planet?
Oh no. Why does Meghan Markle make her own pretzel bags? They don't know why.
That's interesting. She takes it from one bag and puts it in another bag.
Another bag.
That confuses people.
This, we're just gonna put in the bag.
But fast forward to now, and the glow is gone. The story flipped from trailblazer to tryhard. And in the same world she once wanted to rule, Hollywood, she's starting to look less like a star and more like the guest who won't leave the party.
I did think that her baby bump in that twerking video looked kind of weird, but then again, I'm no expert. I mean, dare we say it? Of course she's pregnant. There's a lot of fake pregnant.
The projects meant to cement her status mostly fizzled, leaving behind a trail of weak results. Netflix went quiet. Spotify flat out canceled. And those big promises of a media empire are still stuck in the what could have been pile.
Turns out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing. And that's just by Netflix.
The only thing making noise now is the growing belief that Meghan Markle cares more about polishing her image than building anything real. Yes, she still talks about empowerment, equality, and social change.
Gone on Oprah, I didn't know. I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. You didn't Google these motherfuckers.
But here's the problem. It doesn't connect anymore. It feels distant, like lines read from a script instead of words lived for real. The passion sounds forced. The message feels rehearsed, and the audience can feel it. The shift is obvious. The more Meghan Markle talks, the less people believe. She's not being silenced for being controversial. She's being ignored for being predictable.
And it seems to happen the whole time, really, which is, people do act in character, and she's very demanding. She's difficult to work with. She has her ideas of what she wants to do, and she doesn't seem to want to listen to anybody else.
That's the real irony. By trying so hard to control her story, Meghan Markle has lost control of it completely. Every move feels scripted, every quote recycled, and now people barely even listen.
How I prepare water for my guests. Some water that I got from the spring in my backyard. Whatever you do, don't use tap water. I'm just gonna sneak a taste. You flower petal. H is always calling water water.
And here's the bombshell. Meghan Markle didn't skip the BET Awards. She was never invited. Insiders say her name came up and was shut down instantly. No pause, no debate, just a hard no.
Carries on like she's at home. It's not actually at her home. It's filmed somewhere separately. But this thing about the green smoothie is she said apparently in interviews that she starts her day with a green smoothie.
They're ridiculous after that. They want it both ways. You can't be, these people were so mean to us, poor us, and we don't want all this attention, and then let me write a book about how much we don't want it.
That's not a snub. That's Hollywood flashing a clear message in neon lights. You don't matter here anymore. Think about that. Shows like the BET Awards aren't just about who's trending online. They're cultural checkpoints where image meets real influence. They show who still moves the needle, who shapes the moment, and who's quietly slipping out of frame. And this time, Meghan Markle didn't even make the cut.
26, well, that's a year away. It's not like, if Nike doesn't just devise a caption of just do it, but only sometimes. The iPhone wasn't created in 2007 and then kind of, we'll just think about that. We might not bring it through until 2009. The Invictus Games, you don't have them every 3 years, you have them every 2 years because that's how it works.
It's almost funny when you step back. Meghan Markle spent years chasing Hollywood, building a glossy brand of royalty mixed with rebellion, trying to fuse palace status with California cool. But when the big stage opened and the spotlight hit, the industry didn't cheer. They didn't even boo. They yawned. And that silence spoke louder than any headline Meghan Markle has ever tried to write for herself.
Yes. And he's like, no, I really am a middleman for jars of jam.
He works for Meghan Markle.
Yes.
Really tiny jams, harvestable jams.
Yes, exactly.
Made from the oils of
What made Kevin Hart's roast sting wasn't just the joke. It was the silence after. No outrage. No damage control. No celebrity army posting essays about grace or strength. That empty space said more than any punchline ever could. Because when someone like Meghan Markle, once wrapped in layers of PR armor and social justice buzzwords, gets dragged on a national stage with zero pushback, that's not just comedy. That's a cultural reset.
Well, I'd like to just reiterate the 1% comment. I mean, is this not the perfect example of I am completely unrelatable? I've been given so many opportunities because of my proximity to the British royal family that I have spoken so horribly about. I tormented the Queen in the last few years of her life. I tormented Prince Philip in the last few years of his life. And now I've tormented King Charles in the last few years of his life.
For years, Meghan Markle lived inside a celebrity force field. The rule was simple. Any criticism sent her way was instantly labeled prejudice. Any scrutiny was instantly branded unfair. She was untouchable, sold as the face of progress, floating above criticism, above jokes, above consequences.
Because she's an absolute player who manipulates the whole situation. That's the truth. I've said repeatedly.
I don't think they will change because I don't think they have the capacity to, but they obviously should.
Even comedians stayed away, scared of the backlash waiting to hit. But not anymore. That spell is broken. Kevin Hart didn't just tell a joke. He ran a test. He cracked the shield, threw the punch, and the crowd didn't flinch. No gasps, no shock, just laughter. And that's exactly why this moment matters.
They're so racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby's gonna be. I'm like, that's not racist. Because even black people want to know how brown the baby gonna be.
This wasn't a cheap tabloid hit. It wasn't gossip blogs or fringe YouTubers stirring drama. This was Kevin Hart, one of the biggest names in comedy, taking the shot on one of the biggest nights in entertainment. And instead of outrage, the crowd rewarded it. That's how you know the tide has truly turned.
Oliver, you have generously offered to keep the wax figures of Harry and Meghan safe.
Yeah, that's correct. And if I may, I would just like to say that I'm definitely not using the wax figures for sex.
Meghan Markle is no longer untouchable. The public doesn't see her as off-limits anymore. The image she once wrapped in symbolism, struggle, and polished speeches is now wide open to the same scrutiny, sarcasm, and side-eye every other celebrity gets.
It's just become a parody. I just find it so hilarious. Like, if you sat down to write the character of a woman who'd thrown the royal family under the bus, accused them of you've taken the title, but you don't want any of the responsibility, and you swan off to California and make rainbow fruit platters. I mean, she's just a joke.
The so-called Meghan Markle exception is over. And for someone who built her entire brand on being above criticism, that ending is the cruelest punchline of all.
What she says about cake. She's describing a cake. She's so beautiful on the inside, and you just don't know how good she is until you go deep and you get to know her. What's the subtext there?
She's talking about a cake in that way. She's going a bit Nigella Lawson.
She's talking about making tea, but tea's got to be in a silk bag, steeped in the sun.
Quite a
significant moment for me.
Think about it. The global press tours, the dramatic royal exit, the nonstop PR blitz, and those multi-million-dollar deals with giants like Netflix and Spotify. All that hype, all that build-up, and yet Meghan Markle's Hollywood stock is quietly tanking.
But has Meghan Markle got a screw loose? Is she mad?
Yes, absolutely, yes. She is a malignant narcissist, malicious too, a malignant narcissist. She's also a sociopath.
The streaming platforms that once crowned her the next media mogul are now politely ghosting her. Meetings that once came with red carpets now end in unanswered emails. What was meant to be a content empire has turned into a case study in overhype and underdelivery. Her debut Netflix documentary with Prince Harry landed with a splash. Sure, but then it fizzled. The headlines vanished. The buzz died fast. It was meant to lock in their legacy as cultural power players, but instead it proved the Markle brand can't hold attention for very long.
She introduces the first friend in the programme. Is her makeup artist. She's an employee.
Yes, exactly.
How else do you get your 5 fruit in a style? So what the makeup artist is not going to criticise anything, is she? Because she's an employee for now.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the top...
Hollywood has a short memory, and Meghan Markle's moment is fading fast. The question isn't what's next for her, it's what went wrong. Spotify already pulled the plug, and Netflix? They're sitting on dusty deals that look less like active projects and more like forgotten files.
And her mask slips there. She can't help but go back to old grudges that she's buried away in the back of her mind that just jump out once you ask her the question. And that she said they're silly examples. They are silly examples. It's about, as you say, pantyhose. But this brings up the whole, if you remember, who made who cry over tights.
But here's the truth. It's not just about the failed deals. It's the persona itself that's cracking. Hollywood doesn't run on contracts. It runs on charisma and mystery.
Like, my life was so hard. Everybody's life is hard.
Yeah,
you were
true.
the prince of a goddamn country who dressed up as a Nazi, and now you're trying to come back as the Pope? Suck it.
And Meghan Markle's brand has lost both. She's styled like an icon, scripted like a self-help coach, and managed like a product on a shelf. And that's the fatal flaw. People don't fall in love with perfectly packaged products. They connect with raw personalities, the ones who feel real, flawed, and unpredictable.
Know that she's just getting these little jigs in all the time, which means that she can't quite disengage herself from being royal. Why would she? It's the only reason that she actually has a platform, and yet she has to keep having a go at them. She's smart enough to know that we'll be talking about it if she has a go, so it keeps her in the news cycle, which means Netflix keeps hiring her, because even if the ratings aren't great, which they weren't, the fact that she's constantly being discussed means that, you know, she's a bona fide person to be engaging with.
Meghan Markle's version is too curated, too polished, too plastic. That's why Kevin Hart's roast hit like a thunderclap. It exposed what so many had already been whispering. The brand feels empty. Meghan Markle now feels less like a cultural force and more like a case study in over-marketing. And Hollywood, a town that chews up anything fake and spits it out fast, is already moving on without Meghan Markle.
I was such a fraud. Who is guiding this man from this vicious woman? Because she is vicious. You know, it's all about her. She'll do whatever she can to get what she wants. And Harry, you know, whatever. I mean, he's not going to be someone that she's going to tread lightly around with the things she's doing. He's going to go under the bus as well.
So there it is. The curtain got pulled back and the crowd stopped clapping. Meghan Markle didn't just get roasted by Kevin Hart, she got exposed. And here's the wild part. It wasn't just funny, it was brutal.
Roll a clip. Meghan Markle has finally revealed why she and Prince Harry call each other M and H.
And he'll say M and you'll say H and your friends say M and it just is a thing.
It's a thing.
And do you both love it?
Yes, and I like nicknames a lot.
What could it be? A mystery for the ages.
Kevin Hart fired his shots like a pro. Fast, clean, razor sharp. But the fallout wasn't about him at all. It was Meghan Markle's carefully polished, airbrushed image that went up in flames in under 30 seconds of live TV. No PR team could glue it back together. No trending hashtag could save it. And that's the brutal truth.
The royal family, right, if you can imagine, they're like our Kardashian. Prince Harry is very much our Kanye. The occasion he dresses as a Nazi, and he f***ed up.
When even Hollywood stops playing along, the whole facade starts to collapse. Think about what that really means. For years, Meghan Markle moved through the spotlight with an untouchable aura. Every headline framed her as groundbreaking. Every appearance felt perfectly scripted. Then one comedian stepped on stage, dropped a single punchline, and the armor cracked wide open. That wasn't just a joke. It was a cultural reset in real time.
Yeah, I think I was Taft-Hart lead, which is I like pretended that I was Union, and you have to. It was a pilot called Century City with Hector Elizondo and Johan Griffiths, and I got there and they were like, "So you're Union?" I'm like, "Of course I'm Union. Yeah, absolutely I'm Union." And then I wasn't. And casting to this day, the Mike Ross of auditioning, whatever. I had like a line.
P. Dinah, I was such a fraud. Her words. And can you also see why this clip has upset people so much? Because it sort of proves that Meghan doesn't follow any rules. She doesn't give a damn about the rules. She will do anything to get ahead. And there's quite an evil...
So here's the real question. Has Meghan Markle finally hit the point where she gets the same raw, unfiltered scrutiny as every other celebrity? Or was this just one rare blast of honesty in an industry still soaked in spin and selective silence? Either way, the message landed, and it landed hard.
Later in the press conference, a reporter asked Trump about Meghan Markle, and this is what he had to say about her.
I'm not a fan of hers, and she probably has heard that, but I wish a lot of luck to Harry, because he's going to need it.
Wow.
Who had Meghan Markle on their random Trump insults bingo card? Anyone? If you're keeping track, Meghan Markle's got beef with the Queen of England and the President of the United States.
Now I want to hear from you. What do you think? Has Meghan Markle's media bubble finally burst, or does she still have a way to rebuild it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if you're tired of the same PR fairy tales. And subscribe for breakdowns that say what everyone else thinks, but won't say out loud. I'll see you in the next one.